Training. Yes, training is one of the process of entrepreneurship development. Well, before knowing training in detail, let us understand what do you mean by entrepreneurship development. Well, entrepreneurship development means development of skills of entrepreneur to do the business in better way. There are various ways by which you can develop the skills of entrepreneur, and one of the ways of development of skills of entrepreneur is training. Other could be running of entrepreneurship development programs, which helps entrepreneur develop their skills so that they handle their business and they run their business in a better way. So entrepreneurship development is development of skills of businessmen, entrepreneurs, in order to help them to run their business in a better way. And one of the method is training. So let's come back and let's try to understand what are we going to do in understanding training. Well, we'll try to see the overview of training, or I would say importance of training. Then we'll try to identify the steps involved in training. Then we'll see the advantage of training, and then we'll try to see the different ways by which we give training. Right? So let's try to understand. Now, earlier it was considered, the old school of thought is that entrepreneurs are born and not created. What does this mean? That if you want to be an entrepreneur, a businessman, you should ensure that you are a son or a daughter of already an entrepreneur, businessman, or rich person. Then only you can do the business. That was the old school of thought, wherein anybody can come and become a businessman, not possible. But nowadays, this process, this thought has been eliminated, and now more and more entrepreneurs can be created with sheer education and training. So yes, with the help of appropriate education and training, now many entrepreneurs can be created. So it's really not necessary that you should have huge amount of money with you and backup with you, then only you can become a businessman. Now you can become an entrepreneur, businessman with appropriate training and education. Every country is in need of a hell lot of entrepreneurs because they are the essential ingredient of development of the country. Hence, with appropriate education and training, a good number of entrepreneurs can be created and the economy can be put on growth path. Now let us understand what are the steps involved in training. I'll give an example of one of the training. I hope that will help you to identify the steps involved in training. Right? So the example is of my own training related to video editing of this teacher factory product. What has happened? My whole video editing, whatever all these videos you are seeing are all in-house. We have not outsourced, or somebody else is not doing editing for us. It's my in-house team. So what did I do? I first planned the whole training activities for my editors. Right? Then the planning was not haphazard, it was systematic. Okay, first day you learn this, second day. So it's a whole process of 6 to 8 months where we used to train our editors, video editors for the video editing. Right? And it's not a training of one day, it was repetitive. Every day they used to get a training. And training was exhaustive, consisting of almost all the areas of editing. And then once the training is done, we used to understand and we used to identify, okay, is the training useful or not? So we used to monitor the activities. Once you understand this example that how we imparted the training to our team members, let us see what are the steps involved in training. Well, training is basically scheme of activities which are planned, systematic, consistent, pervasive, and we monitor them to check the effectiveness of training. And they are integral part of the whole development program. So what we do? In training we plan the activities, how the training will be done in a systematic manner. And it is training is not a one-day affair or one-time affair. It is a consistent so that the effective or desired result are achieved from that program. And the training is exhaustive. Try to cover as many areas as possible so as to give the complete feeling of it. And once the training is given, what we do is monitor the effectiveness, the improvements. So definitely we see that before the training and after the training there is a hell lot of development in the video editors. So yes, we monitor the effectiveness of the training also. And training is very essential ingredient in integral part of natural part of the development of the employees, people, and so does entrepreneurs or business. So once we understand different steps involved in training, let's go to what? Let's go to identifying the advantages or benefits of training. Well, one of the foremost advantage of entrepreneurial training is it helps broaden the vision of entrepreneur by providing situations, platforms, or opportunities for interchange of experiences within and outside the industry. Yes, what with training, what happens? We try to enlarge the vision that okay, let's say if there is a training of new trains coming in the business. So once the entrepreneur goes to such kind of trainings, he understand okay newer ways of making the same product. So it helps in broadening his vision. Okay, now the same thing can be done in this way also. So yes, training helps in broadening the vision of the entrepreneur, gives them the opportunities to exchange or interchange the experiences within and outside the industries. Hence, what training leads to development of the entrepreneur. Yes, any sort of training leads to development of individuals. So does for an entrepreneur. Let us take an example of one of the way of training, right? There are a lot of business expos happens. So there is a Dubai Expo, there is a Singapore Expo, there is a German Expo, there is a China Expo, business expos happens. Even in Delhi there are business, or even Ahmedabad in India also there are big, huge business expos are there. So what happens when the entrepreneurs, businessmen goes and attend those expos, suddenly the vision gets bigger. Okay, now I can add this new process, new product to my own setup and all sort of things. They start knowing the system in a much more better way. The training helps entrepreneur develop their entrepreneurial skills. Training guides in marketing of goods. They also helps in understanding new methods or new production methodologies. The training helps in understanding consumers experience. In fact, training helps us make updated about latest development in the field, which directly or indirectly affects our organization. See, understand, with training can be focused at various areas for marketing areas, for production areas, for consumer side, or overall in general business handling processes. So there are training happens into various areas. This whole training process helps us become updated with the latest development. What is latest things happening? So let's say for an example, let's say now there is latest development is from 4G now the India is moving to 5G system. So automatically will it affect only the telecom service provider? No, that will affect manufacturers, bankers, overall industry who will be shifting from 4G to 5G, so the internet experience will be even more smoother and all sort of things. So yes, training helps in getting the insights about or new methods of marketing of goods, production technologies or methods, consumers experience. They helps us remain updated with latest development in the business environment, which is directly indirectly affecting our own system. Yes. Now, training helps in reducing the wastages. If you give proper training for production, it will help in reducing wastages of resources and spoilages. So there are a lot of advantages of training, right? Apart from advantages, now there are different ways by which you can train the people or entrepreneurs or employees, right? So training can happen through lecture method where let's say the inputs are given by the trainer and the receiver try to get it through direct dialogues and explanations. So lecture method through training can be imparted through lectures, or I would say demonstration wise or practical experiences wise. So through demonstration method also you can get training. You can train people by individually instructing, giving guidance to individual person. Okay, you do this way, avoid this. So automatically this is also a part of training. You can do a group training also, wherein you in a group you train people to do something, right? Training can happen through conferences, meetings. So yes, training is an opportunity by which you can develop entrepreneurs and increase the number of entrepreneurs in the system. Well, it was earlier a school of thought, or old school of thought was that entrepreneurs are born and not created. But nowadays, with sheer education and training in the field of entrepreneurship, you can create hell number or a lot of entrepreneurs which are essential for the development of the country. Well, trainings, a lot of steps are involved in trainings. Training basically is a scheme of activity which are planned, systematic, consistent, pervasive, and the whole activity is monitored to check its effectiveness. Understand, training is a very integral, a necessary part of entrepreneurial development, right? Well, advantage of training, yes, there are a lot of advantage. Training, first and foremost, training helps in broadening the vision of the entrepreneur by providing situations, opportunities wherein he exchanges his experiences within and outside the industry. Right? Now, training helps giving the insight related to marketing of the good, production methodologies, consumers' experiences, and training helps entrepreneurs remain updated with the latest development in the industry, which directly, indirectly affects his organization. Right? Training helps in reducing wastages, scraps, and faulty output. Training helps in improving efficiency of the organization. So there are a lot of advantages training can give you, and because of sheer training, you can have really the good entrepreneurs are created in the system, right? See, there are various ways you can train people through giving lectures to them, giving demonstration or practical experiences to them, individually instructing, group instructing the people. Then you have seminars, conferences, and meetings through which you also give the trainings to the employees.